So episode 80 of Dragon Ball Super dropped some huge bombshells regarding the power scaling of the different universes. We actually have confirmation on what are the 4 strongest universes, by a landslide mind you, in comparison to all 12 of the universes, because it was established that in this upcoming universe survival arc, this universe survival tournament, 4 universes will not be participating in the tournament simply because they're too strong and they don't need to be included in this universal fight, because essentially all of this boils down to the Omni King was destroying universes regardless. Like, he was already like, there's too many universes and these are some weak ones, we could just get rid of them. So one thing that I felt as though this knowledge, which we'll talk definitely more about all the universes that are strong and stuff like that, but I think that this newfound knowledge that the Omni King Zeno was going to destroy universes regardless completely, for the most part, clears off Goku's name of being the big universal idiot, or a lot of people are saying, you know, he's the freaking new Goku Black in a sense because he started this tournament. Now, if anything, Goku gave them a fighting chance because they were all going to get wiped out, because in this episode 80, again, we found out even more information, the fact that Universe 7 is the second weakest universe of all of them, so they were definitely going to get destroyed one way or another. So the fact that Goku opened his mouth about doing this tournament, he gave them a fighting chance, which I think was a great move in clearing Goku's name as being this big idiot that started this, you know, survival fight, when in actuality there was not going to be a fight to begin with if he didn't open up his mouth. So right then and there, Goku's character pretty much cleared of being a big imbecile, and I'm appreciative of that. But we also got great information regarding who are the top dogs, and also I feel as though with this information that these 4 universes will not be participating, we'll probably get more arcs after the universe survival arc, because now that we know they're not going to be partaking, more than likely if this tournament just goes smoothly and we finish it all up, we'll have to eventually, you know, see these 4 universes and what they're up to. So that was a good move in them excluding them from the tournament, in a sense of like they're fighting, because now we'll have more mystique and more to explore after this tournament. But essentially what was said is universe 1, 5, 8, and 12 are the 4 universes that are completely the strongest. And here's where I have a really interesting theory, and it might not come to fruition, or I might be flawed because I don't know. I'm not a connoisseur of alcoholic beverages, but it seems as though there's a possibility that we can rank them and we could kind of see where things are going if we know exactly how strong some of these alcoholic beverages are, based on their names, because the gods of destruction are all based on some form of alcoholic beverage. We got Beerus, which is based off beer, Champa based off champagne, so on and so forth. But also something that caught my eye as well, and we're going to talk a lot of different things, but it seems as though Universe 6 is stronger than Universe 7, and that kind of puzzles me. I'm like, wait a minute, hold the phone, hold the phone. The mortals of Universe 6, how is that possible when we whip their ass, essentially? The only one that we couldn't be is Hit. Is Hit that much of a capable fighter, or do they have that much more capable fighters that we're unaware of that are possibly stronger than us? So that's something to know right there. So Universe 6 is stronger than us in some way or another. At the very least, the mortals, the god of destruction, that's a whole other story. So I guess you could even argue, yeah, because hold on, champagne is probably a stronger drink than beer, right? Champagne, champa, beer is beer. So right there, it's kind of going along with my theory. Again, it could be completely flawed. There could be a drink on there. I'm not an expert on alcohol or anything like that. But based on the 4 universes we have, let's take a look at their god of destruction, their name, and if you're a little bit familiar with alcohol, at the very least, you could kind of get a gauge of what we're on about regarding these names. So Universe 1, Wine, it's basically, you know, his name is Ivan or Ivan or Ewin, and it's a pun on the word wine. Now, wine at its purest form, and mind you, let's just say you have some pure wine that's been around for thousands of years, you know, fine wine, you know, age like wine. The longer you go, the stronger you are. So essentially, that could be one of the reasons why he's one of the 4 strongest universes, because wine is a very strong thing when it's at its purest. Now, if you got some pussy shit like, you know, some 3-day-old wine, that shit is going to be ass and weak as fuck. So this is probably a very old god of destruction, and a lot of the fighters and mortals, for that matter, are probably very old and strong as well. Then you also have Universe 5, Arak, which I have no idea about that drink at all. It's a Middle Eastern drink. Apparently the pun is based off of, you know, some sort of Middle Eastern drink, but it could very well be that this is another very strong drink. Again, I don't really know, but it is an interesting theory nonetheless that their power scaling is on how strong the God of Destruction's name pun is, their drink. We have Universe 8, liquor. He's based off the word liquor, and immediately I'm thinking, yeah, liquor at its purest, 110% liquor, that is very, very strong stuff. So who knows, maybe Universe 8 is definitely the strongest, because to my knowledge, maybe I'm completely off. Again, I'm not an expert at it, but liquor, strong, straight liquor, sounds like that's probably one of the strongest things you could get. And then Universe 12, gin. Again, I'm not that familiar with gin. I know a little bit about it, but ultimately gin seemingly is some pretty strong stuff as well. So that very well could be the reasoning behind, the pun, and we could kind of investigate regarding that. Kind of curious for people that know more about alcohol than me. Am I onto something, or you think maybe some of the weaker universes kind of have more stronger alcoholic beverages under their name, so maybe it's completely flawed? Let me know. But then also we found out that everyone minus the angels will be destroyed if the universe loses and they get destroyed. So Supreme Kai, Beerus, all of them are getting dusted no matter what. It is only going to be the angels, and I'm kind of curious, could it be because of their role? Because we do know that they have some sort of higher purpose than pretty much everyone else. They're like a servant to the God of Destruction, but I feel they're also a guidebook in a sense. They're supposed to guide the God of Destruction to do whatever is correct and whatever seems fit, and also train them and so on and so forth. That's their overall purpose. So that could very well be the reason. It also could lead into the theory that everybody continues with, which as of right now makes the most sense, that the Grand Priest essentially is truly a villain, and he's only looking out for what seemingly are his kids. I'm assuming that majority of the angels, if not all of the angels, are his children, based on the fact that Whis and Vados are his children as well. So maybe they could all be his children, and he's just being biased, like, nah, not my kids, but the rest of these universes could get destroyed, which also adds into the fact and the theory of he's a villain. He doesn't give a fuck about the other people, but it's my family, so I kind of care. I'll spare them. But it could also serve into the purpose of the angels and what they're supposed to be doing anyway. Another thing to note is regarding the other gods of destruction. One of the things people were saying is that they truly felt that the clown god of destruction was going to be the strongest. We can basically completely debunk that at this point, because I believe that's Universe 11, and Universe 11 was not included in the 4 universes. And if you even look at the future of Dragon Ball Super based on this information, we have a long way to go to be able to compete in any sort of strong standpoint against some of these other universes, because the other universes were averaging, the 4 of them altogether, a 7. Universe 7 averaged a 3.18, and Universe 9 averaged a 1.86. So basically the other universes are at the very least twice as strong as our mortals on Universe 7. But here's the catch though. You gotta ask yourself, well, let's just say on a scale of 1 through 10, Goku and Vegeta are like 9.5s or 10s, right? But we also have the next strongest there is like Tien and, Piccolo and those people. Does that make the grade go down so far that it kind of destroys the grade in a sense? Because while Goku and Vegeta pretty much are able to keep up with like the strongest from the other universes, the other mortals below them aren't nowhere near as strong. So that could very well be the case, which would mean that Goku and Vegeta really aren't that outclassed against other universal fighters. It's more so the fact that the weaker people behind them, like the Master Roshis and Krillins and stuff like that, aren't at that level. And again, it just puzzles me that Universe 6 is stronger than Universe 7. I don't understand how, aside from Hit, that they have any type of capability of keeping up, because we've seen cases where almost Piccolo had Frost if Frost wasn't a cheater, and he could have, defeated him. So that's something else that makes me question, like, how is Universe 6 stronger than 7? It doesn't make sense. And confirmation that pretty much Universe 7 is almost twice as strong as Universe 9, so more than likely that means that, yeah, Universe 9 doesn't really stand a chance. But that also includes the possibility of some huge training for a lot of these people. If Goku and Vegeta know that their universe is pretty much one of the weakest, and that the top universes are twice as strong as them, they're more than likely going to have more training. So we'll probably get a decent amount of training between this exhibition match as well as the upcoming match in the tournament, the real deal. And with all that being said, I'm kind of curious what you guys' opinions is on this. First of all, knowing that these are the 4 strongest universes, do you think there's a possibility that the name puns of the gods of destruction are an indicator of exactly who's the strongest? And could we also include that into the universes that aren't in the strongest list, maybe based on beer, and maybe based on their name of their alcoholic beverage? We we can say, okay, this beverage is stronger than this one, so this is on top of that one. Also, what do you think about Universe 6 seemingly being stronger than 7? What do you think is the reasoning behind it? Is it because of Hit? Is it because of fighters that we haven't seen yet? That Vados wasn't capable of recruiting beforehand, but now that the universe is at stake, they're going to join forces for the new Universe 6 team. Also, what do you think about the Angels being exempt from the destruction of their universe? Do you think it's favoritism from the Grand Priest because maybe he's just an evil piece of shit? Or is it because their roles are so vital to their universes that they can't afford to be killed? And do you think that this kind of confirms that we're going to have more arcs after the Universe Survival arc based on the fact that these 4 universes are going to be excluded from fighting in the tournament? Oh, and do you feel as though as well this clears Goku's name of being an idiot that almost blew up the universe or all the universes in general, considering the fact that the Omni King was destroying these universes anyway? He just gave them a fighting chance to survive. And your overall thoughts of all this? Either way, some really exciting stuff. Episode 80 brought forth some great information for us to kind of chew on and kind of look at, wow, these are the strongest, and we have a long way to go if we want to keep up with them. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.